use this. This is fun. Thank you for everybody coming. All right. Welcome to the April School Board meeting. Everybody who's not standing, please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mrs. Gunderson's unable to attend tonight for some personal reasons. The board met in executive session beforehand for some personnel and legal matters, and we will not be going back afterwards. Secretary correspondence?
No report.
No report, all right. IU report.
Okay, so the board met on Wednesday, and we got the first rollout of the strategic plan. Beth Trapani is who the IU has contracted. She's been working on this for 6 months. I have gone through it cover to cover. I'm very, very impressed with this plan. So the board is charged with reviewing the plan over the next month, and then they'd like us to come up with any questions, and then they'll make any changes that are agreed to, and then the plan will be rolled out. The board, the CCIU board will vote to accept it, and then it'll become the plan. So we've used Beth Trapani, as you know, and she really did a phenomenal job. You know what it takes for us to do our strategic plans. You can only imagine with an organization that has 3 times the budget that we do. So they did a really good job, and if there's anything that I'm alarmed at, which I've read it once, I will bring it back to you guys and let you know what we can expect, but it's definitely, they're on the right track. She's done a great job. Also, we approved the 2019-20 marketplace budget and the marketplace pricing schedule, and I explained that a little bit at our last meeting. Marketplace is that a la carte list of services and programs that are available for purchase, not only by the school districts in Chester County, but actually for anyone. And we charge the administrators to stay within the Act 1 2.3% increase on that marketplace budget. We're in at about 1.6%. So they definitely did what we had charged them to do, and the CCIU board voted to accept that budget. And I was affirmative. I've gone through them, I've dissected everything they've given me, and it definitely is the right thing to do. So you'll be asked to accept that like we were asked to accept the other budget. And the board is actively involved in interviews for the executive director. We're searching, and those interviews will start and go into May. And then we meet again on Wednesday, the 15th of May, and after that, I'll have my next report. So if anybody has any questions, because these budgets are really important for us to understand. I can certainly give everybody the book, but do you have any questions on this whole marketplace thing? Because it is a little confusing, but I think we have a pretty good understanding. But what did come up at our last meeting was that some of our home districts don't have a real clear understanding of what goes on there, what is being brought back to us. So I want to do a really good job with this because it is that important. It's $300 million budget. So if there's any questions that you have, if I can't answer them, I'll give you to Chuck or to Joe Labitsky. It's really important that we know what's going on. So if anybody has any questions, needs any more info, just send me an email and I'll give you the contact info as to who can answer you. And that's it for me.
All right, thank you. All right, next up, legislative report.
Sure. There's quite a bit of activity in Harrisburg. I'm going to go pretty quickly through this, and I will really kind of only keep to the salient points that are kind of germane to our district and our situations here. The House has only met about 7 times so far this year, the Senate about 5 times so far, so they try to accomplish as much as they can in just a really condensed time frame. As far as the budget goes, the hot topics for education and the governor's message to the Commonwealth included the proposed minimum teacher salary of $45,000 across the Commonwealth, block grant funding moved to the basic education fund, decrease in safe schools competitive grant funding, and a flat funding of transportation. So just overall, in the basic education fund, there's been a $200 million increase proposed for the basic education fund. And that includes minimum base teacher salary statewide of $45,000. That would affect about 5,100 teachers across the Commonwealth. There's been a proposed $50 million increase for special ed. There is not a lot of increase for career and technical education in the K-12. $50 million increase proposed for early childhood education, as well as a $50 million increase for early intervention. $45 million proposed increase for safety and security. It's a $15 million decrease, though, from the current year's budget of $60 million. Transportation, this is a very flat line item budget. It's about $120 million short, so a lot of schools are kind of playing catch up with that. Some policy components of the governor's budget are student attendance. The governor proposes lowering the compulsive attendance age from 8 to 6 years old, and there's some thought about lowering that even to age 5. There's also, gonna pass over those through a few things. The House Education Committee meeting on March 11th had 8 bills under consideration. The first one was for articulation agreements. The bill would expand the established database that allows students and potential students to plan where courses, programs, certificates, and diplomas transfer among public schools and higher institutions of higher education. That's actually a pretty robust undertaking there. The workforce information would require Pennsylvania Department of Education to develop materials outlining workforce needs, including training opportunities and future earning potential. And that would for school entities to allow for community colleges and other technical and trade schools to attend college and career fairs. There is a standard being developed for agricultural education. That's not something that we focus on here in Great Valley, but there are many places in the Commonwealth that really do. The House is also proposing a bill to establish an online career resource center and CTE advisory committees. There's some movement as far as charter school legislations go, providing there's one bill in the Senate providing additional funding for charter schools, provided except in the following: if a public school district offers a cyber-based program equal in scope and content to an existing publicly chartered cyber school. So that means if Great Valley were to offer something online, there would be no additional funding to a competing cyber school for that. Another House bill proposal would prohibit payments to charter schools unless they adopt a budget that includes an unreserved fund balance less than 5% of the total budget expenditures. Property tax legislation. This is interesting. There's a House bill proposed that freezes school property taxes on the primary residence of older Pennsylvania citizens. And then there's another House bill being proposed that eliminates school property taxes for seniors who qualify for property tax rebate. Teacher certification creates a new teacher evaluation system, and again, this is a Senate proposal. The new system reworks the weight of the current system by increasing the observation portion from 50 to 70% of the total score. And contract negotiation, the Senate bill being proposed, the bill would remove the exemption of collective bargaining from the Sunshine Act. The bill was previously introduced in Senate Bill 503 2 years ago. Additionally, the bill would remove the exemption of collective bargaining from the right to know law, which is interesting as you look forward down the road. It was introduced previously about 2 years ago, and it did not have any legs and it did not get passed. And then there's a final Senate proposal repealing section 1112 of the Public School Code, which allows teachers to wear any garb, mark, or emblem of their religion at school. That's pretty much what's going on right now, and we will have some further updates, and there'll be some future action on the Hill to report at the next meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, exciting stuff. Middle school. It's got to be more exciting than that.
Good evening to the board, Dr. Speaker Paul Binsky, parents, teachers, and Great Valley community members. I'm Megan Ramick, the 8th grade student council president.
I'm Sophia Geibel, the 8th grade vice president.
I'm Mia Maslowski, the 8th grade treasurer.
I'm Mason Sigarnik, the 7th grade president.
I'm Amit Keshe, the 7th grade vice president.
I'm Nadia Nemeth, the 7th grade secretary.
And I'm Gavin Source, I'm the 7th grade treasurer.
So the third annual Student Council Chili Cook-Off was held on Friday, February 3rd. It was an awesome evening. 12 chili entries were submitted to the Chili Cook-Off. 80 community members attended the event. After the meal, everyone enjoyed the Super Bowl themed trivia questions. We are looking forward to next year's Chili Cook-Off, and we are excited to be hosting this event for many years to come. So National Engineers Week was a lot of fun this February. This year, the Math Cons Club helped us run this event. We had many students participate in the paper airplane contest during 8th period, and we had our winner, Izzy Grice from 7th grade, who won a $5 Wawa gift card.
The annual father-daughter dance is scheduled for April 26th from 6:30 to 8:30. There will be music, dancing, bingo, snacks, and more. Students can also vote on the school website which songs they want to hear at the dance. We are currently selling tickets at lunch, and there will be tickets available at the door. Male student council reps are invited to help with the dance.
Our most recent Spirit Day was held on Friday, March 28th. We invite all GVMS students to wear their favorite Major League Baseball jersey to school. It was a great turnout, and we had a lottery with a lucky student that won a $5 Wawa gift card for wearing their jersey.
On March 15th, many student council reps and officers attended the Region J conference at Interborough Middle School. There were around 600 middle and high school student council members at the conference. Our middle school had the privilege of representing 2 workshops this year. We learned leadership skills and brainstormed ideas for our upcoming school year. We also heard from the Sixers broadcaster, Mark Zumoff, who taught us how to be better young leaders.
Student council elections will be held in May. 4 positions are up for election for the incoming 7th graders: president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. They'll make posters and a video of their speech, which will be showed to their classmates. At the end of May, 6th grade will be able to vote for their new student council officers.
The 8th grade is very excited to attend the Philadelphia Amazing Race and Dinner Dance on the Spirit Philadelphia at the end of June. 8th grade students got to choose their groups to race. We are very excited for a fun night.
We'd like to thank you all for the opportunities you provide us with at the middle school. Thank you for your time and have a great night.
All right, thank you very much. The board would like to know when the date is for the chili cook-off next year. All right. Other reports, I think we have one from the Educational, Instructional Technology Committee, excuse me.
So the Instructional Technology and Curriculum Subcommittee met on Monday, April 8th. We were joined by Great Valley administrators Stephen O'Toole, Tricia Beck, Beth Zigmont, Ed Souders, and Heidi Capitola, and Great Valley teachers Teresa Famous, World Language Chair of the middle school, and Jeffrey Spicer, World Language Chair of the high school. Dr. Souders and Mrs. Famous provided an overview of the middle school World Language Program and the history of the middle school program dating back to 2005. They shared that the middle school World Language Program currently allows students to explore 2 of 4 languages in 7th grade, Spanish, German, French, or Latin. In the exploratory 7th grade courses, students receive 90 days of language fundamentals. They use this experience to determine which level 1 language they would like to take in 8th grade. Next, Dr. Capitola and Mr. Spicer shared an overview of the high school World Language Program. Students at high school can take Spanish, German, French, or Latin. However, because German 1 and Latin 1 often do not solicit enough interest for classes to run, students who request these typically end up in Spanish. Mr. Spicer shared that most colleges like to see students complete 2 years in the same language, but there are some colleges that prefer students complete as many years as possible in one language. When discussing language options, the group talked about the limited numbers of certified teachers to teach the language. The group discussed the shared middle school and high school staff for world language courses. In addition, the group discussed the combining of sections of some level 4 and AP classes due to enrollment. We also discussed possible changes and the direct impact of those changes. For example, students in 6th grade are now selecting their exploratory topics for next school year. Any revisions to course sequence and structure would be reviewed and discussed in the 2019-2020 school year, and implementation would take place during the 2021 school year. We kind of changed up our originally it was instructional technology meeting, but we added curriculum in there because we wanted to cover a few more topics for the board. I was glad there was actually a good amount, like 10 people attended from the public, including 2 other board members, so we had pretty good attendance. So.
Yeah, it was a great discussion. Excuse me, great discussion, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like historical things that we had talked about, like we used to have Spanish in elementary school, and after kind of discussing kind of some of the difficulties that caused later on in programming and how and it kind of makes us understand a little bit more of the whys of why we do stuff right now, and I think that's kind of useful for the board later in the future.
I attended as in the audience, one of the 10, I guess, and found it to be really interesting discussion with the history and also just sort of comparing, as you said, to what the different options are and what other schools have done. One of the discussions, as you said, was around how there's 2 languages in 7th grade now, but potentially some other schools might do that differently and have them do it in 6th grade and then have year 1 in 7th grade, which also has its upsides and downsides. I'm interested in what the next steps are. It was a really interesting discussion, but what would be the next steps as far as any of the sort of options that were thrown out there?
I think we asked the administration to kind of come up with if there's anything they want to change with the program, and so we would discuss that as.
I think some of it too is about what are we trying to get out of it, right? I mean,
Right.
I mean, obviously, teaching somebody how to speak a foreign language, but mentally, what does that mean? I mean, there's advantages to a foreign language learning other than just knowing a language. It also stimulates the brain in a different way, right? So how do you enhance that, and what are we trying to achieve, right? By offering the 4 languages, is that the correct amount or whatever, I think. So I think that was some of the challenge, right?
Absolutely.
That was good.
And I believe the outcome of that meeting was to look at what are some outcome expectations and how can we start with the end in mind and work our way backward and look at what are some possible options. And we have time to do that now that we're going to spend next year in that exploratory mode.
That's great, so we should expect once the staff has looked at that, administration, if there's any recommendations, they'll be brought back
Absolutely.
sometime in the next school year.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
And that could be anything, right, from
Could be anything, yeah.
stay as is to turn it upside down.
Absolutely.
So,
Great.
yeah.
I should also add that at the end of the meeting, Mr. Spicer shared that the Pennsylvania State of Modern Language Association recently awarded Great Valley School District World Language Program with the Bronze Globe as part of the PSMLA Exemplary Program Award.
And we will actually We will actually have an opportunity tonight for that recognition. I believe Mr. Spicer's here, so more to come.
All right. Speaking of awards, let's move on to the recognitions. That's more fun. And why everybody came, I'm sure, so. All right. Science research, I don't know which school that is. Oh, elementaries.
Good evening. My name is Shauna Cooper. I teach 5th grade at Charlestown and was their science fair coordinator this year. We're here tonight to celebrate Science Fair Award winners. 4th and 5th graders first competed at a fair held at the individual elementary schools. The winners from that fair got to continue on to the county competition to compete against hundreds of kids in Chester County. At this time, we want to recognize those outstanding students that received awards at the county level. We'll start with Charlestown Elementary, and please hold your applause till the end. For 4th grade, we have Sean Halliday, who competed in the botany category and received high honors and the David Jarvie Award for Life Sciences. Is Sean here tonight? He couldn't make it. Okay, that's okay. Additionally, for 4th grade, we have Fuad Ismailia, who competed in the chemistry category and received honors. Come on up. We also have 4th graders that competed as a team. We have Siddhant Suresh and Anirudh Venkatesh, who received distinguished honors and best of show. Our 5th graders at Charlestown, we have Surya Kanwar, who competed in the botany category and received honors. We have Ishan Singh, competed in the physics category and received honors. And then our last 5th grader, Michael Schlorf, who competed in the engineering category and received distinguished honors and excellence in sustainable energy.
Hi, I'm Allie Van Acker. I teach kindergarten at General Wayne, and I'm here to announce the winners from General Wayne. So we'll start off with 4th grader Asher Callan, who won a high honors award in chemistry. Asher. 4th grader Aturv Singh won honors and significant developments in biochemistry. 4th grade team, Eva Tatey and Kate Weichert, won an honors award. Fourth grader Petra Wirtz won the Richard and Patty Smith Excellence in Engineering Award. Sahasra Shivali won Distinguished Honors in Medicine and Health.
AJ Mahan won an honors award in medicine and health. And fifth grader Lindsay Wissner won distinguished honors in microbiology.
And I'm Sarah O'Neill. I teach fourth grade and I'm the science fair coordinator for Sugartown. I'd like to call up Fiona Davis, fourth grader, who won high honors in the physics category. Next, fourth grader Sonia Mehta, who got distinguished honors for engineering. And fifth grader Delay Adiami for high honors in chemistry.
Good evening, I'm Chris McKell, building principal at Charlestown Elementary School. Tonight I have the honor of recognizing the success of one of our Charlestown students. On the weekend of March 2nd and March 3rd in Gettysburg, Siddhant Suresh, a fourth grader at Charlestown Elementary, participated in the Pennsylvania State Scholastic Chess Championship. Siddhant came in 5th place for all students in the states from grades kindergarten through 6th. And he was the 4th grade state champion, which is the highest rank you can earn at a grade level for this tournament. Siddhant, great job and congratulations on your success.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ed Souders. I'm the principal of the Great Valley Middle School, and I have the privilege this evening to acknowledge a number of students, as you can see, from that participated in our History Bee, Science Bee, and Academic Regional Finals. To start, I'd like to begin with our History Bee, and I'd like to call up Ryan Rossi, if he could come up. He won first place in history and qualified for the National History Bee. And the International History Bee. We also have Ritish Kodali, who won first place in the History Bee for the 7th grade division, and he too qualified for the National and International History Bee. We have Luca Ruggieri, another one of our 7th graders who is here with us this evening for finishing 3rd place in the History Bee, and he too qualified for the national and international bees as well. So it looks like we have Ratish up here for a second acknowledgement. He also in the 7th grade division of the academic bee won 1st place, and he qualified for the national and international academic bee. And Rohan Sivakumar finished 2nd place for the academic bee and qualified for the national and international bees as well. We have Yash. We also have Yash Panda, who finished 3rd place in the academic bee and qualified for the national and international bees as well. For our science bee, we have Nikhil Koda Kalapudi, who won 1st place in the science bee and qualified for the national and international science bees as well. All right. And I'm just going to move right into the PA State Geography Bee, since the one student's here already, just from a time standpoint, and he's already up there, and it is Luca Ruggieri. He was the winner of our Great Valley Middle School Geography Bee. He placed 2nd in the state competition that was held in Harrisburg on the 28th, and he is now qualified for the state bee, was one of 100 participants to participate in the state level. Luca did not miss a single question in the qualifying rounds and advanced from the top 10 to his 2nd place finish. So Luca, you'll have another opportunity next year, so congratulations, bud.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Vogel. I am the high school choral director. I am joined with my coworker, Sean Cohen, who is the instrumental director up at the high school. We are here to acknowledge all of the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association participants. Every year, the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association hosts auditions to select the top high school musicians across the state to perform in select ensembles with nationally recognized conductors and composers. These students progress from District 12 to Region 6 to all states and finally to all Easterns. This year, Great Valley High School was particularly successful in sending students through the PMEA Select Ensembles. In fact, this was our highest number of students that the school has ever sent, and Great Valley was one of the most represented schools in 2018-2019 PMEA festivals.
As Ashley said, my name is Sean Cohen, and I'm the band and orchestra director at the high school. And before we honor the students who progressed through PMEA Select Ensembles, we just wanted to extend a quick thank you to the GV administration and core teachers for their understanding and for supporting the arts and extracurricular performances. The elementary and middle school music teachers in GV who planted seeds of passion and learning many years ago, and the families of our students who have tirelessly invested time and energy into music education in the GV community. We'll start with the PMEA band ensembles. We had one student participate in the All-State Jazz Band, and that was Jordan Colucci in 11th grade. I'll meet you over there. We had another student participate in the All-State Band Ensemble, Colin Lee in 11th grade. We had multiple students participate in the Region 6 band. The following are Brian Zhao in 10th grade, Heidi Atlas in 11th grade, Cole Nikes in 12th grade, Tyler DeTulio in 11th grade, and Garrett Thomas in 11th grade. And we had one student participating in the District 12 band, Evan Search, in 12th grade. Next, we'll move on to the PMEA orchestra ensembles. We had one student participate in the All East Orchestra, Hannah Yoon, in 12th grade. We had one student participate at the All-State Orchestra level, Sarah Yoon, in 10th grade. For the Region 6 Orchestra, we had multiple students, including Colin Lee in 11th grade, Evan Sun in 10th grade, Leo Lee in 10th grade, and Kirsten Ho in 10th grade. We had multiple students participating in the District 12 Orchestra, including Cole Nikes in 12th grade, Brian Zhao in 10th grade, Eva Lee in 10th grade, Rizvik Bobley in 11th grade, Kimberly Yang in 12th grade, Julia Hu in 12th grade, Jovan Lee in 12th grade, and last but certainly not least, Luke Liu in 11th grade.
Okay, and I will be announcing, these are the participants in the PMEA All-State Choir. So if they made it to all states, they were in everything below that as well. So first, Nathan Carter, 11th grade. Tyler DiTullio, 11th grade. Daniel Milani, 12th grade. Bennett Resnick, 11th grade. Jack Shadle, 11th grade. And William Spiegel, 11th grade. The following students participated in the PMEA Region 6 Chorus. Carlin Chrissy, 12th grade. And Ronan McDermott, 12th grade.
No, you stand up front.
I'm not a student.
As you can see, Mr. Pollock, thank you. Mr. Spicer was telling me in the back, this award deserves to be nominated, or it would be said multiple times throughout this hearings, or this night, because he feels it is such a big award that he deserves all the accolades he can get. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Henry McCluskey. I'm the acting assistant principal at the high school. It is my honor to announce that the foreign language departments for the middle and high school have received the Pennsylvania State Modern Language Association's Bronze Globe Award for 2019 to 2020. This prestigious award is given to schools that provide evidence of high quality, standards-based, proficiency-oriented foreign language instruction. To accept the award for the foreign language departments, Mr. Jeff Spicer. Again, he's our department chair at the high school. Congratulations, foreign language team.
One more person join before you all leave. Our student rep would like to tell us what's going on at the high school. I know a lot of good things.
Thank you. Over the nice long spring break, the boys tennis team competed in the Chestmont Singles Championships and had 3 finishers in the top 8, including a second place finish. And on this Thursday, the No More Club has invited former USA gymnast Sarah Klein to tell firsthand the effects of sexual assault and sexual abuse to the high school. So, yeah.
Well, I also heard you've made a decision where you're going?
Yeah, next year I'll be attending NYU.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great accomplishment, well done. So, all right, so whoever would like to leave, grab your parents.
Before you release everyone, since I have a room full of people, the Foundation at Great Valley's annual golf tournament is coming up. You can look for more information online at thefoundationatgreatvalley.org, but it will be Monday, May 20th at White Manor Country Club. The foundation does a lot of great work for our students, so check it out.
All right, thank you for coming. Yeah.
How tall is your son? Or... That's awesome. Is she from the South? Is she Southern Belle? That's awesome. That's a very beautiful couple. How old is he? Wow, that's kind of young. That is awesome. We met in college. Yeah, she's a beauty. Where is she from, in Alabama? Okay, where are they going to live, down there or up here? Okay. But is he on the tour or he works for the tour? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. He's your baby?
No.
Okay.
All right, next thing up is the superintendent's report. Nobody wanted to stay.
I provided my report 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to give some updates. On June 3rd, the Honors Bio 2 students are working in partnership with the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine doing research on ALS and Alzheimer's. Miss Chrissy and Miss Kleinberg have been doing a tremendous job, and I really just wanted to let everyone know that on June 3rd, we'll actually hear from the students' perspective. They have really worked hard, and it will be wonderful to hear from their perspective the experience throughout the last year and a half. Also, we will be starting a Diversity and Inclusion Council, which the first meeting of that council will take place no later than the end of this school year, with an expectation that we will continue in full force at the beginning of next year. So I just wanted to give a little heads up that you will be receiving some communication via school messenger, and that will go to all parents and families in the community.
And that will be open to anyone who would like to come and participate. Correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. The council will be open to anyone who would like to be a part of that diversity and inclusion conversation. And we will also structure that with chair folks to organize the topics to be presented and discussed. And also finally, on Thursday, April 25th, Senator Kearney will be visiting our schools. Senator Kearney has secured the position of Senator McGarrigle, so he will be visiting on Thursday, and we really look forward to showing him what Great Valley School District is all about.
And he's our senator from the Willistown
Yes.
area. All right. All right. Next up is public comment on any item on the voting agenda. If you have a comment, please come to the podium, state your name and residency, and if it has something to do with a non-voting item, there'll be another section at the end. All right, seeing none. First up for approval is the consent agenda items 701 through 722. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. All right. Anybody have any questions on any of these?
Yeah, there's a few that were new since the last meeting, like the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit and DuPont. I just wondered if we could get just a brief overview, I mean, read through them, but a brief overview of what they are, since we didn't get a chance to talk about them last time. Very brief.
Certainly, the multiple contracts with the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit and the Nemours Alfred I. DuPont Hospital, those are contracts that provide services for our students on an as-needed basis. So we secure contracts with those providers in the event that a student would need those services. The contract already exists, and we lock in at the rates that were given at that time. The dual enrollment, I believe we spoke about with Immaculata University. There was also the, I believe the donation to Great Valley High School was recently added, and that was the $2,500 for the robotics club from Sycamore Mechanical Contractors.
And just a quick question on the Montgomery County, we're obviously in Chester County. Could you just clarify why we would have an agreement with Montgomery County?
Absolutely. There are, each intermediate unit, there are 29 throughout the Commonwealth, and oftentimes regionally, intermediate units will have niche services that aren't replicated at each intermediate unit. So there are certain services that MCIU provides that CCIU does not provide, and vice versa. So Chester County also offers services to some Montgomery County and Delaware County schools as well.
All right, any more, excuse me, any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor? Motion passes 8-0. All right, financial approval. I have a motion for preliminary budget.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, just to remind everyone, this is the preliminary budget that we have to post. Doesn't lock us into anything. The final budget is voted on June 3rd.
June 3rd. Yeah, this is your prom date. This is not your wedding night. I was going to offer every kid that stayed a $5 Wawa card like the middle school was giving out, but they all left to hear the budget presentation. We added in there at your request from 2 weeks ago the, all right, I'll get you a card. Linda, remind me tomorrow to get him a Wawa card. Sorry.
500, not $5.
So, okay, you have the update, the RBC did an update on, if you did the $1.5 million extra in the budget instead of the $1 million for future debt service, and did that for 3 years, the effect of it. So we can talk about this at the work session in May. Again, the same premise, $1 million this year, add $1 million next year, add $1 million the year after that. So you have $3 million in place. You have a line item then for debt, plus you will have saved $6 million plus investment earnings toward the debt, which you will need in at least 3 or so years, 2 to 4 years maybe.
Is the $1.5 million or the $1 million built into the budget
The
right now?
$1 million is in the budget, so you'd have to make an adjustment. This was for showing this.
And we can discuss that in May, right? I know my board colleague who's not here was
You
interested
can
in
make any
discussing it
changes
as
you
well.
want to the budget as long as you don't go over the Act 1 index, because you promised not to. So, and we are not near the Act 1 index, so we're in good shape.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? All right, all those in favor? Motion passes 8-0. Personnel items. Have a motion?
Motion to approve 9.01.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Mr. Wren's not here, so we can't tell him. We're going to turn it down.
I would like to just draw your attention, we do have the approval of the contract for the Director of Business Affairs, Mr. Chuck Peterson. So that is there for your review, and I just wanted to call attention to that.
And for everybody who hasn't listened in the past, this Chuck is retiring, and the new Chuck will be taking over July 1st. So that's what that contract is all about. We've been through the interview process, and we've reached a candidate, and we're moving down the path of hiring him for July 1st. So congratulations to both Chucks. All right, a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor? Motion passes 8-0. All right, next up is approval of the second reading and adoption and second reading and repeal.
Motion to approve 10.03 and 10.04.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second. Any questions on these? All those in favor? Motion passes 8-0. All right, no other voting items. Reopen the podium for any public comments on any other subjects at this point. All right, seeing none. Any other board comments? All righty, motion.
To adjourn.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion approved. Thank you very much for coming. Have a good evening.